What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
Woo! There we go. It's Pink or Marcus in the building. What's good? What's good, everybody?
What up? It's Charles or Charles. You already know.
And I'm here as well. What's up, everyone?
Whoa!
Matt or
Where's the normal
Haz.
energy? What the
Huh?
heck? You don't be coming. And it's me, Matter as we got tournaments coming. But
You guys brought up the weak shit today, so I'm just matching your energy.
What?
What's up, everyone? What is going on? Podcast world, Tweek Talks fans all over the planet. We got some amazing tournaments this weekend. Of course, a pair of them, of course, won the biggest of houses. Big House X, of course, number 10 coming through. And then also, First Attack. Incredible tournaments that we had across the board here. But obviously, the biggest tournament and the one that three of us were at was the Big House. And it was my first one. And I loved it, man. I had so much fun.
It was great. It was great.
What a first Big House. I'm just so jealous. Your first Big House experience was one of the most iconic Smash tournaments
historic, dude.
all time.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. Also, this is episode 70, y'all.
Nice.
Shout outs to that. Thank you to everyone for watching, listening. Thanks to everyone that's a part of this team. Like, damn, 70 episodes. And we have some cool stuff to talk about for this episode, too, so...
We do. We really do. Well, where do we even start? Do we want to talk about our own experiences at the
sure.
House?
I think that's always a good one to do.
Let's
like
talk about our experiences.
Yeah, did you have Marcus? What do you think? What do you think of
great,
Detroit,
bro.
Marcus?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I've been there a few times before, so it wasn't anything new to me. But great time out there.
We did a live episode. We could talk about that too.
We did.
We did do a live episode with the live Q&A.
I was nervous.
You were. We talked about that after. You admitted that on Sunday, and I was like, well, first off, that was 2 days ago. But second off, what? Why you were? What happened?
I don't know. So we did the Invitational one, and that was at least it wasn't in front of a crowd, but it was different. It was streamed and whatnot. It wasn't the same. I was probably a little nervous. The Summit one was the same kind of thing, but this
Genesis,
one was
we also did one at Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis
that
was
that was
recorded.
at Metafy, though. It was
this one was
side.
closest to Genesis, except we also had a crowd. I don't know. I was getting choked up for the first few minutes. I didn't know what to do.
You choked up. Yeah, it was. Well,
We
you
had
said
the
that on Sunday.
Papa John ad read.
I know I handed you the Papa John ad read. You literally go, no, and just put it back. I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing it. What the heck?
I got
wants to
so
hear me say
scared.
this shit.
Yeah.
You did. It was weird which is funny because obviously, in situations where you're playing in top 8s and stuff, it's shit. That's a hard situation to play in. But for the most part, you're cool as a cucumber. But doing Papa John's ad read, can't hang, dude. You can't hang. The big boy commentators.
Y'all are just different for being able to do that. But yeah, it was great. I feel like having Cody on was unexpected and fun. We had some great questions. I feel like after the first few minutes, I think we got into a nice flow. At least that's how I felt.
That is
as nervous as me, but
that's something I do want feedback from because I thought the Big House staff really hooked it up because they put us on the compendium where people could have us do things, which we also owe people some things because we didn't have all of it. So we'll figure it out for you guys. But if you guys in the comments below, if you're on YouTube or wherever you are, want to leave what you would like to see. I want us to be on compendiums again just to help with travel costs. It could help us get all of us there. If I'm not hired for commentary, Charles, or if Marcus is going to compete, et cetera, it could help get us all there. So if there's something you guys want to see, a topic suggestion or I think it might be priority for questions because dude, we take a while to answer questions is the other thing we could get better at, but we'd be talking.
I think everyone
there's
wants
3
to
or 4 of
answer the
us,
question,
so.
which is
I
think I know towards the end I was kind of just oh snap, we're running out of time, and I was like, oh, one person answer the question. You know what I mean? And then some. Right, and then some questions are directed to 1 or 2 specific people on the podcast or whatever, right? So it's either that or we'll just have one person just kind of go. But when all of us answer the question and we all give a shit, so it's gonna be long answers.
Yeah,
so.
True. And that could be that could just be a format of live events because with these we have as much time as we want. We get them edited and et cetera, et cetera. But they could just pull up I have a question for Tweek, which most people will probably have questions for Tweek. Right. And then Gavin answers them, or maybe they'll phrase the question where each of you answer I don't know that they did at Genesis. What's all of your favorite One Piece characters? And that's a really quick question we can all answer in like
a couple minutes.
It's on us to figure out the best format, but usually chat knows. Like they know what they want. We just need to make it work, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not saying it went poorly. It was also our first time trying it, so I'm happy to do it again. But we just need to figure out what's going to work, man. Yeah, that was so much fun, man. It was fun.
I'm looking forward to just like continuing to improve on the format, like you're talking about, but just doing it more in general because it's starting to become more of a regular thing when like enough of us are at a tournament that like we find some time to do that.
Yeah.
And as someone that's like competing, like it gives me something else to look forward to. It's like, I don't know how this competition is going to go. There's a lot of variables in that, but I know I have to do this Tweek Talks thing on this date at this time. And it gives me like a more of a schedule and routine and like something to look forward to and like, I guess like fall back on it. Like it makes me less nervous for the tournament because it's like I have other priorities.
Agreed.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, like when at Genesis, like when I was there for it, I was like, oh man, I gotta do this Tweek Talks thing. Like we're chilling. Like I'm there for the tournament, but I'm also here for Tweek Talks, and we can like it felt so separate to me. So once I got Tweek Talks out of the way, I was like, all right, well, I did one job. Let's go to the next job, and like let's I don't know, just do work. So it's really cool to like have multiple reasons to go to something. Instead of just like I have to play in bracket for 3 days, but I'm really only playing for like 2 hours this day and then 3 hours the next day. And, so you're like, you have more things to do on your weekend instead of just a few things for a few hours a day.
Yeah. And it was also,
I was going to say, that's something we offer other people too. Like if you show up on a Friday, it's like, most people go to a tournament, you're done with your bracket pretty quick. Like you're out of the tournament pretty quick. So it's nice that we have something we bring and also it's something for it. But to Gavin's point too, I was nervous the first time we did it because we were all nervous the first time we did it at Genesis because we're like, dude, what if no one shows up? What if everyone hates us secretly? Like, isn't there? But it's gone great every time. So I at this point it's a comfort thing.
Yeah, and it was also B's birthday weekend.
Woo!
House 10. House of Slows.
I was gonna say, Slows barbecue. We went 2 nights in a row. No shame, dude.
Yeah, and it's not the same as like the Tweek Talks thing, but I was also like that was a priority of mine, like making sure we had a good time with her and like making sure we like planned out our weekend, like so it felt like I had multiple like priorities that weren't just competing, but it also made competing like a bit easier on the mental, just because it's like, all right, if one of these things doesn't go well, hopefully this thing goes well. If this doesn't go well, like you know what I mean, it just felt comfortable on the brain.
You're not stressing the whole time. That's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, it just makes it easier.
Yeah.
All your eggs aren't in one basket, like mentality-wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, the only reason why I'm here is to do this, and if I don't do well in this, I'm gonna feel like
I
guess
you can't control
bad about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of weird because it's just like that. It was the main and quote unquote only purpose.
Like I can't predict how the tournament's gonna go, but I can like somewhat control like making sure B's birthday goes well and like the Tweek Talks thing. Like it's I feel like just because I've been around for so many years that I have these opportunities in the first place, right? Like I can like, it's not just about competing. Like, people want to do the podcast stuff. And like, I don't know, it's the last few events have had stuff like that. And it's been really nice for me in a bunch of ways.
Yeah, we get to interact with fans and, like I feel like the Q&A is like a very solid foundation that we've like have, and it feels like it flows the best, and then from there we kind of have to figure out like sculpture that, right, and maybe add some other things. But the Q&A, I feel like once we started getting questions, that's when everything started feel like it clicked, you know what I mean, and it was like we just started flowing. So it was a good time. And then Coney obviously bringing in his insight, so I mean, that was always a good time. He's he's hilarious.
Great improv game on that guy. Oh yeah, we knew. With him too, it truly was just like, hey man, he was backstage like, hey, you want to be a Tweek Talks? He's like, yeah, sounds good. I like the show. All right, sounds good. And then he hopped up there. So shout out to Coney if you're listening here. Thanks for coming through on Friday. But enough about Friday. People want to hear enough about us. People, except for Gavin. People want to hear about the tournament. Going into top 32, man. Even then, there were some incredible matches, and I think if I was to pick one to talk about, and this is the tough thing about these majors that are so big that they have 4 setups and they are all dedicated Melee and Ultimate. You know, like there's only going to be 2 streams for both games. And especially Melee at this tournament, like the top 32, top 64 were some of the best matchups we've ever seen. So it's just tough that so much shit had to get played off stream. Like, so you had to play Zenodo in top 32, I think is a good place to start.
Yeah, if we're gonna go into my run, so a lot of my bracket matches were like what I was prepared for because they were like the projected matches. I played my first couple rounds and they went well on Saturday morning. And I played one of my third match on stream against a Lucina player, and I won that 2-0, and then that was like to get into best of 5. And then I played a best of 5 match. My first best of 5 match, I didn't know what character they were going to play. I recognized their tag. They ended up being a Captain Falcon player, and I wasn't sure, but they picked Fox for the first 2 games. And I looked at their character, and I was just like, no way this is happening. Like, this is the like worst possible character, or like one of them. And but that went really well, and that was a big confidence booster. And then my next match was to get into top 32 winners was Doorstop, the Zero Soon PT player. That one was on stream. That one went pretty well. It was like a little back and forth, but I did win 3-0. And then I played Zenodo to start off on Sunday. Sorry if I rambled a little bit, but
No, man.
You're good. Yeah, no. People love that shit.
Yeah, I think your tournament experience and your tournament prep is probably majority of people that watch this, that's probably the main meat and bones of what they want, right?
Yeah, so in terms of the projected, the Zenodo one was definitely the one that sounded the weirdest and most uncomfortable because it's a character ditto. I actually kind of like the Diddy ditto, especially compared to other characters I've played in the past, especially after I got more tournament experience with it. I actually pretty much like it, but something like I played against Zero Suit the round before, like that's even better for me, like as a matchup, because Diddy just does really well. But the set started versus Zenodo, and my game plan was, all right, I want to steal his banana. I don't care about getting mine. If I can get my hands on the other Diddy Kong player's banana, I'm just gonna destroy them. Like they're never gonna get it back. And the match started, and we both start dash dancing back and forth, and neither of us are pulling banana. And I'm like, oh, he knows. And like, I should have expected that because he's been playing for so long, and like we've talked, and he's such a just a really smart player and a really cool dude. But like part of me was like I already wanted to like giggle a little bit. I was like, dude, this is so funny. Like neither of us want to. So we were just scrapping the whole like set for the most part. But then like if someone was off stage, we'd pull banana, or if like someone was at a deficit, they're like, all right, I need this, like something like that. But yeah, that went really well overall. It was 3-0. There were some close back and forth moments, but it went really smooth. And then that was to get into winners quarters versus Riddles. I was excited for this one because I had lost the previous set and I hadn't played Riddles in a full best of 5 with Diddy in a while.
Where was your last set?
Invitational, and then before that was Collision. So Collision was I won game 5 with full Diddy, and then Invitational was like Sephiroth and Diddy. And I was looking at that like I wish I went Diddy because I thought I would have won with full Diddy. So this time it was full Diddy, and he actually used full Kazuya, which was like a slight surprise. I kind of expected at least some Kazuya, but Terry on paper does better than Kazuya because he's faster. But that set was weird. It started off with this like weird moment on my last stock. He did the Gates of Hell grab on me, and I like hit the stage, and as I fell off the stage, I directional air dodged like off of it as I like canceled on the ledge. And I was like, oh, I'm fine because I had my double jump, and I was just going to double jump and recover. But I was still an extra stun after my air dodge finished, and I just couldn't double jump for a split second, and I just couldn't make it back. And I looking back on it, I still don't fully understand what happened. So I lost that game in a weird way, but I feel like I kept it together because I'm pretty sure I won the next game like pretty well. But yeah, we were just going back and forth. Like obviously, like I just super died every time I got hit. But every time I hit him, like I did a lot of damage too. It wasn't just like a kill, but like once in a while it kind of was. So my biggest regret with that one is I kind of was stubborn and I was just going to like running it back to the same stage, like not really thinking about counter picks or bans. And also I just wish I played defensively because like I would get like a million damage when I got a hit, and I would like I kept describing it as like I felt like in that set I got baited by my own momentum. Like I was like, oh, I'm like beating his ass. Like let me just keep doing that, and then all of a sudden like I lose my stock, and then I lose my second stock. I'm like, wait, I had a full stock lead. Now I'm at a stock deficit, or like something like that. So yeah, stages and like game plan. I feel like I was kind of autopiloting it because we were just destroying each other. But like regardless, like it's kind of hard not to give props regardless of Kazuya being like that, because it's definitely like a matchup that's Diddy favored. I think I could lose the next 10 sets and still think that, you know what I mean? Because Diddy just has all the tools in the world to do well versus Kazuya. So yeah, I do really want, like that was my first time playing against Riddles as Kazuya in a full set, where I'm like, I'm up against a Kazuya that will kill me every time I get hit. And that's just really important experience for next time, I think. And then my next match was a top 8 qualifier against Zomba. We were projected to play in top 8, but a couple things went differently. Like Zomba and Meister ended up playing really early in losers. They both lost early. And Zomba took out Meister with Lucina. So I ended up playing Zomba for top 8. That set went really well, like in like the important moments, I think. Rob is my favorite matchup in the game. And I think Diddy does really well versus Rob. The first game was close. It could have gone either way. The second game, I think I got destroyed really bad. And then the third game, I destroyed him really bad. Yep. So it's like kind of similar to the Riddle set. And then the last game was like another kind of like the game 1 game where I just like finished it out. So I was happy because I just got Kazuya in winners, but I was able to like just play a normal like match, like just a normal best of 5 smash set without like feeling like I was super tilted from losing in winners. In fact, I felt like even better than I did in winners, which is, that never happens, right? Yeah, so that was the game in the top 8. And then I had to play SHADIC, who previously 3-0'd Aaron that tournament. Aaron gave me a bunch of advice. Zenodo like was warming up SHADIC, so I feel like both of us were super prepared. But I don't know. I didn't feel as stressed about it as Aaron did, and I ended up winning that one. SHADIC had like a extremely unfortunate SD to the point where I actually thought about SDing, but I did not.
Did you really?
I did think about it. But I'm a tryhard, so I did not. Sorry.
I a homie stock. I think they're honestly, I think they're more BM than anything else.
I think they're lame too. Like if I was SHADIC in that situation, I would actually be more upset if someone SD'd after I SD'd. But I still considered it. I don't.
Homie stocks turning into a hot topic, yeah.
Bro, and then you lose. No way, dude.
No, it depends on context.
There's so much context in my opinion.
There's a lot of context.
Like, yeah.
My biggest thing that surprised me with that set was, so I think I win the first game, and then SHADIC counterpicked Kalos twice, and I was like, oh.
I mentioned that on the mic. I was like, "Whew, this Kalos is quite the pick."
It reminds me of my my second round of the tournament. I played a Kazuya player in my second round, and they counterpicked Kalos the second game. And I just have to sit there and be like, oh, yep, this is where you picked.
There's some good Corrin stuff on it, but yeah.
There is, but
it's
like
really good for Diddy too.
Like twice in a row?
Okay, buddy, you played on Battlefield twice in a row against Zomba.
Is that bad?
You played 4 out of the 5 games against Light on PS2.
That reminds me of the Riddles loss though.
Yeah,
like,
that too.
I was just running it back like, oh, we both are like winning games on the same stage. Why would I not run it back? I could just win again. But like next time, those are my biggest things I want to change, is like even if it's not even thought out, like going somewhere else just for the sake of going somewhere else. it feels like it would be way better on my mental after the fact, because at least I tried it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I beat SHADIC. So now I'm in like the 5th place area, and I played Mute. And this set was to qualify for Panda Cup, and that's what a lot of players went there for. You know what I mean?
What was that? Wait, what was your reaction, Marcus?
I was sweating.
Were you?
Because it was a long set.
Play Mute. No. Because I know how Gavin can sometimes get about Peach, where he's like, dude, she just pulled like 8 turnips, and 2 of them was a Stitch face, and one was she's so RNG. This is so. Speaking of, did Mute pull a single like?
I was just gonna say nothing sticks out of my mind.
This is funny because it's not like I controlled this, but my game plan against Mute was like similar as playing the Diddy Ditto. I'm not gonna start the game and pull banana. I'm gonna start the game and like I want them to pull an unsafe turnip. Like it's the same idea. And then the same thing happened again. I'm like, neither of us are doing it. Like my game plan.
Just go to the VOD and see how long it is for a 4-game set, and I'll tell you that did not happen very often.
Yeah, I mean, camping was on my mind ever since I lost to Riddles. Like I was like, if I have to do it, I'm gonna do it. And versus Mute, we've already played a couple times. So I actually forgot we played at Summit 2 a long time ago. So that wasn't Diddy or anything. But the more relevant ones are, he almost reverse 3-0'd me at main stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I 3-0'd him at MomoCon with full Sephiroth. So that was the weirdest thing going into the set. I was like, beating him with Diddy is harder than Sephiroth based on the data. But I'm not switching off Diddy because I've been playing Diddy for like just Diddy straight ever since Summit or post-Summit. So I knew it was going to be difficult, but I had to be willing to take it slow. I had to be focused, and it went well enough. I think there were some key moments, like the way I ended the set, like I just got a nice read, and then I just got a slightly earlier kill. Like I killed him at like 90 something with an up throw up air. Like in this matchup, we were just like playing neutral and camping and just, like no early kills. Like people were living forever. Like the matches were taking like 5+ minutes, and like I'm fully prepared for that. And we talked a little bit after the set. Like I kind of talked to Mute about my game plan, and like he kind of talked about like his game plan. Like a lot of it was like really reactionary and like waiting and like baiting with like slight positioning. Like he would float in the corner but not really swing, and I wouldn't try to anti-air him, like because like if I threw the banana at his like float, sometimes I'd hit him, but sometimes he'd catch it and react. So like we were really trying to make slight adjustments in real time based on like those baits with like trying to act like we're vulnerable but we're not, kind of thing. But yeah, I was really happy with that win just because it got me in the Panda Cup, and that's what I really came there for.
Yeah,
that string was crazy,
bro. For the people who listen to the podcast, they know you have no fucking clue where you were with those points. So it's nice that you just qualified straight up anyway.
Yeah, that string was crazy because it like obviously is scary for anyone to like be in a close set and like then you like get hit and take 1 million damage. And I grabbed the ledge and I jumped off the ledge immediately, and I was like, no, don't do that. Like take it slower, calm down. And I think that's really helped me a lot. And yeah, that was to get in the Panda Cup. And then I had to play Light, who had just gotten into the Panda Cup 2 or something like that. And that's what we had been chatting together with the whole tournament. Like, yeah, we just want to get into the Panda Cup. Like we were both. He was a lot more stressed out than me, especially because he had to play Riddles in top 8. So he was like super stressed. But yeah, we warmed up a little bit before top 8. And then I played Light in a really, I think I played it pretty well. There's a couple key things that I'm still like disappointed at. But after rewatching the set, like it feels like it was just mistakes on my end.
Wait, there's a rewatching.
Yeah, I rewatched some like key moments that were in my brain. I know.
Key moments is good.
Almost immediately too, right after. That's I'm impressed.
I would change up the stages. There's a couple like combos I'm gonna be more prepared to do, and I also have a new edge guard flowchart like already, to make it easier on myself to like kill Fox off stage. Shout out to Larry for talking to me about that.
It's a great source of knowledge for that exact situation is Diddy destroying Fox off stage. Larry's definitely seen that happen quite a few times in his life.
Yeah, that double was so close to hitting the double dare. You almost got there.
Yeah, I played the end of this set pretty well, despite getting literally like 3 stocks for a second. So
you're getting more edge guards too. I don't know. I was very impressed. I felt like you came in with a bunch of improving strategies, and it was game 5. So it was a really fun set to watch as a spectator.
I personally think that matchup is like one of Diddy's worst, like really, really bad. But I think I'm getting better at it, and I think I'm finding some key things that are really huge. But yeah, that was basically my run. I talked to B about this the other night, but the main thing I would like to talk about after this tournament, in terms of like how I'm feeling, is my entire like life playing this game or like playing Smash. I've never like lost at a tournament and then been like, I feel like a big win is coming, or I feel like I improved at this. Like, I'm usually just sad and disappointed, and I'm not sure how the next tournament's going to go until I clock in. You know what I mean? Like, not saying I'm not going to do well at the next tournament, but I'm never really sure because it's just, I can't focus on it because I'm like so absorbed in like my losses or something. But like lately, like after the past couple tournaments, I really genuinely feel like any tournament I attend could be the next big win, just because the losses have been close. I've been playing really well in certain scenarios, and that progress is like, it feels really great to like move on in like a healthy way, I guess. Like I genuinely, like last night I like laid down before I went to sleep and I literally said like out loud, like it literally feels like any tournament could be the one I win. And I've never thought that, as crazy as that sounds. Like I just feel like I'm very close to making a breakthrough. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I feel good. That was my run.
It's cool because it all feeds together. I think we had it was that one big episode where you talked about working on your mentality and improving that part of your game. And it kind of feeds into all other aspects of your tournament experience. Your mental game's a little bit sharper, so your self-reflection's a little bit better because you have the ability and the self-awareness to go back and you're already looking at sets. Like that's already a thing. We've joked about that before. Like you don't really do that, but you've already did it. But it reminds me of like anything else. Or any other thing you're trying to improve at. And for me, it's like eating healthier, exercising, and like doing all that stuff. It's like a whole. It all needs to be working together. You're fighting against yourself. Like if I'm not sleeping right, I'm probably not going to want to go to the gym, which means I'm probably going to feel lazy, and I'm probably going to want to eat some crappy food. Right? Like it all kind of feeds into itself, and it sounds very similar to the experience you're working on in tournaments. Mentality feeds into like a better outlook on the game, which helps you play, but also helps you grow and all this other stuff. So that's awesome to hear, man.
Bouncing back fast has always been like something that was difficult for me. Like sometimes it would literally take a week for me to like be able to like absorb Smash like in a healthy way again, because I'm so focused on the losses and like dreading playing again, or like not sure how I'm gonna feel going to the next tournament. But like being able to feel like I don't have to bounce back because like the response isn't as negative after the loss in the first place is like, it just feels like I have more time to work with like before the next event. And like, cause it doesn't feel like there's any like sink in my emotions. Like there's no drop. Like I'm just ready to clock in whenever. And yeah, like even regardless, like the losses were close, like, and some of them were hard matchups. Yeah. I think like maybe 5+ of my losses have been 3-2. And that, as much as that sucks, it's also like, all right, well, one stroke of luck or like one slight adjustment or like something like that, like I could have won all of them and I could win the next ones. Like, so it like genuinely, like statistically and mentally, it feels like I'm just right there. And that's, I don't, that doesn't feel bad. Like that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's, oh, go ahead, Marcus.
It's super nice. Because obviously I've been watching you for a long time. We've been friends, and we've said a million times on the show, but it's super nice to be able to like message you feedback and you're like receptive to it. Because like before,
if I'm receptive or not, pretty much.
Right. Like I would have to like wait a
or
week.
you don't even try.
Exactly. I just wouldn't try. Eventually, I got to a point I was like, I'll get to him in like a week or something like that. Like, So, it's super nice, and that was something that I was noticing. Like after Summit, how you feeling? You're like, I'm good. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, true. After Big House, I'm good. I was like, oh, all right. I mean, cool. Like, we're chatting it up. He's like, you're like, yeah, like that was really hard, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, light on PS2 is an experience, and even Larry, I told you, Larry was saying the same thing when he's watching it. Like, yeah, dude, like light on PS2, which is really weird because you're also really, really good on PS2. And you're also really, really good on Kalos, which is somewhere that Light is just historically really good.
We both talked about Kalos, but he banned Kalos. So it's like he mentally gave. Yeah, I was like, I won the Kalos.
You're right.
Kalos is mine.
Mine.
He gave it up. He really did.
He's like,
he actually gave it up.
Yeah, I because like I don't think he knew that much about me on Kalos, but when we were warming up before top 8, like we kind of talked about our Kalos thing. And he was talking about how good he is on it and how good Fox is on it. And I was talking about Diddy and myself. And then like when we played in top 8, he banned it. And I was like, oh, snap. Like damn. Like he didn't want the smoke on Kalos.
Literally, Tweek talks and Light listens. Like that's what happened. He's like, oh, I heard you. I'm
banning how did you like that's what I did want to talk to you about. How did you like the stage list? Because it's different than the Smash Bros. Tour stage list.
Y'all know, like, I'm not as invested in the stages as maybe I should be, or maybe other players are, because, like, sometimes I just get overwhelmed. Like, the reason I got overwhelmed with this one was there's 3 bans. Like, I don't even know what 2 stages to ban. So at one point, I was just saying things. Like, I was just like, I banned these ones, and I don't. And if you ask me why, I have 0 answer. Like, I don't know. Like, other than like, oh, I'm playing Riddles as Kazuya. Like, I have a general idea what I want to ban, but low key, I feel like I'm trying to play against Kazuya on FD.
I wanted to say it. I wanted to say it.
Just do it to do it. Next time, I might actually consider leaving it open. Let's do it. Let's try it.
Yeah, why not?
Because I don't know. That platform was low key making the combos really annoying.
How's he gonna land? Where's he go?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, why not? Like, the character's already polarizing. Why not go to FD with Diddy Kong and just make it even? Whoever gets hit is dead.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Fuck it.
Player diff me. Like,
yeah. Let's see you try to get off the ledge with nowhere to go.
Exactly. If I play Kazuya as Min, I'm like, I leave FD open every time.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Someone is dying.
So
now.
Light's gonna hear you say the Kalos thing, and he's gonna leave Kalos open next
time
you guys play.
I know,
for sure.
No, next time this is what I'm gonna do. Like after I win a game, I'm gonna ban Kalos. He's gonna be like, "Oh snap!" He's like 2 steps ahead. Like,
Jesus.
But yeah, I guess something else that we should talk about is Riddles getting his first big.
We knew it was coming.
I know.
Yeah, he had been. Dude. It's kind of like Zomba, where you're like right there. Like they're both gonna get it. You know what I mean?
You remember that streak where you got like a couple seconds in a row?
Yeah.
Like I think it was like 3 or 4 seconds
like
in a row.
Top 5s, top 4s, top 3s, top 2s.
Yeah. So obviously, I've been following him since before he was. I remember when Ultimate first came out, and it was like
the Belmont guy.
He's the best Belmont. I was like, yeah, fucking right. My Belmont's better. And I watched him. I was like, oh shit, he's really good. And he's like, and him too. Like it was true Fundy's Belmont. Always like he still doesn't really do any of the crazy technical stuff. He's just a good player. So it was truly the same pipeline. Like Belmont and Deken. And I was like, whoa, like we're playing the same exact characters. But then he kept going down the DLC pipeline of Terry and Kazuya, which is interesting because he didn't use any Terry, actually, to get his dub, which is crazy because he always felt more confident with Kazuya. I think at least when I was talking to him at Summit about it. But this is probably before he got the dub on MK Leo. So I think that helped out a lot in terms of his Kazuya confidence. But
like going into Big House specifically?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go Terry once. Like, not even against you, obviously.
Not even against me, which is like... if there was any match where I would have expected it, you know.
I think the Leo, like beating Leo with Kazuya, I think helped a lot. And then I also think like he did. I said this a lot on commentary, but he really started using the entire kit of the character. Like, yeah, everyone complains about electric. Yeah, everyone complains about grab into electric. But what do you about Kazuya forward air, Kazuya up air? What a bullshit fucking move, right? Like, it's so good. His aerial kit is like pretty nice, and Riddles used it so well, like so well.
I would always turn to people when Riddles was up airing and tell them it was frame 4, and whether they knew it or not, I would say that is the same frame as my up air. What? Excuse
it's
me?
So good. Yeah. That and Hell's Gate usage is insane because he wasn't.
Yes.
I said this in commentary too. You don't go for like the huge. Obviously, Kazuya has the potential to literally straight up raw KO you at 0. But if you go for things like Hell's Gate, you get the stage positioning, and then you kind of go for more like kind of safer route, like better tournament routes, right? Like worse Twitter routes.
The balance of both.
Routes,
Advantage state Kazuya. Like, and the advantage state is still good, right? Like,
you can only get that balance of like your advantage state flow chart if you just play enough tournaments. Like knowing like this is the moment where I optimize, or this is the moment where I take stage control, or like the more like, and Riddles has attended so many of the big tournaments, right? Like, you only get that like in the moment knowledge for like what route to go for just by playing in a bunch of brackets, like brackets specifically. Like you could do a bunch of practice sessions and get these super optimal follow-ups, but you'll really learn a lot about them once you start going for them in bracket, whether they work or not. It tells you a lot about your character, and like that's why I said I really appreciated playing against Riddles in a best of 5, because in a full best of 5 with my Diddy versus his Kazuya, because it really tells you a lot about like obviously he's like a 0 to death kind of character, but it just really like, I don't know, it's a lot of really good information on how to avoid it and whatnot.
Yeah, really impressive play. Like, just again, I mean, Kazuya can be really polarizing, but I thought Riddles played so many different situations so well. Like Haz was pointing out earlier, just really utilizing the kit. Up airs in disadvantage specifically is a very, very strong option for Kazuya when you have a button that quick, when he's going for some of the big hits, when he was going for stock trades, right, with the command grab against light, and knowing that on small battlefield and battlefield, the bottom blast zones are like deep enough that Fox can't make it back, because usually Fox can make it back on other stages, and you can tell just the sheer amount of experience and practice Riddles is putting in, and it's showing, and it's really sick to see. And it was really sick to see it like all come together at Big House, because I don't know, just I mean, aMSa now currently lives in Canada too, so aMSa, you know, the obviously super historic for Melee, and also very historic for Ultimate. Riddles taking his first major, so it was really cool that it happened side by side kind of thing, you know.
Both of them a long time coming. One literally like, dude, after Melee, I turned to Chuck after Melee because they were literally, and I said it on like, they're grown men crying because aMSa won Melee. I turned to Chuck, I'm like, how the fuck were we supposed to follow that up? Like, what can we possibly do? Obviously I love Ultimate, and I think it's the greatest, but man, Melee, the history, like you can't. The answer is you don't compete with it. We have our own thing, and it's really great too, obviously. And Riddles getting the dub was amazing. And not just his play with Kazuya, like being really strong, but his mental too. Game 5 against Tweek, Game 5 against Light, Game 5 against Onin, back to back to back, and all ended up in dubs.
I didn't even realize they were back to back like that.
That's something that I definitely want to talk about. Is over time I've noticed his mental has gotten so much stronger. Like, he was down 0-2 against Onin. That's like one of the big differences.
Steve,
you're down against one of the best Steves, or however y'all want to argue about that in the comments or whatever. The best Steve, the second best Steve, like whatever. You're down 0-2 against Steve, and you're just like, all right, bro, it's time to clutch up. Like, I've seen a lot of people, especially like older Riddles. I feel like older Riddles would have folded and given up. He might have started switching characters because he used to lose faith in his characters sometimes, but he just took off the suit, bro, and that Kazuya.
He did take off the suit.
I love that tweet, Marcus. That was so funny. I'm so glad you pointed it out because I think Kazuya has a lot of great costumes, but dude, oh my god, I've never seen Riddles go to the non-suited version.
I'd never seen it. I was like, oh snap! Like,
the opposite of Gavin, dude. The opposite of Gavin, who puts on the suit and tie, is like, I'm taking this shit off. I'm done. Actually going to work.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna take you to the hood real quick.
Exactly. Like, start scrapping them.
Dude. Yeah, and we were talking about Onin a little bit. It was great to see Onin compete again. How do you not like that kid? He's so likable. Open the Pokemon cards on stream, like he's just having a great time.
Yeah,
like,
I walked
he's
like
kind of a
into
troll. Like what the heck?
I walked into the area and I turned around and I'm like, did I just see a Pokemon card?
Oh yeah,
like
the crowd was
vision?
That's so funny, dude. Yeah.
That reminds me. Aaron actually, before top 8, came up to me and like gave me a Sableye card that he opened. I was like, dude, there's Pokemon cards everywhere this weekend. But yeah, thank you to that. That gave me the buff to win some of my top 8 sets. Thank you. Yeah, and also Onin just top 8ing every event like usual. Like
pretty good, a little consistent.
Just blocking in.
Well, it's like
for Kameme
weird.
Too.
It's weird because it's like such a tight argument to argue. I do think it's light overall, but it's really close when you think Onin versus light when you look at the results. Because I mean, it is it's crazy because Onin just has a bunch of firsts,
the larger W's.
Right.
I would give it to light too, but like it's
close. I think it's very close.
One
and
single
I think
tournament
it's also
can
debatable.
like change that kind of result. That's how close it is. You know what I mean?
It's debatable for sure. I personally still think it's light, but it's still crazy that it's debatable, right?
I definitely wanted a shot at Onin. I will say that. Like I will throw my ego.
I wanted
a little bit.
I
did kind of want a shot, but it's alright.
I want everyone to play Onin though. We need more data. Like you said, Light has a bigger sample size for sure. More tournaments, which obviously leaves you more vulnerable to bad, quote unquote, bad losses or more losses. But at the same time, it's more data. So yeah, I mean, I just want to see more Onin anyway. It's just been great. Kameme Sora looking good too. Beat Cosmos, which is nice. Made top 8. Only lost
beating Esam as well. That was a big W.
Dude, losing to Dark Wizzy though, which I was really surprised. I feel like Sora should do well in that matchup. It's just I don't know.
I can see Dark Wizzy doing well in that matchup specifically though. I think Dark Wizzy is a pretty slow and methodical player, and Sora can be pretty slow and methodical. I feel like Wizzy's pacing just naturally is fit to fight Sora. I just genuinely think that. That's another player I would like to play against as well soon. Is Dark Wizzy.
And speaking of Wizzy, I mean, what a way to bounce back! Like, beat Mars, beat Kameme, like just beating good players, and that's Mars right off of a win, right? Like a tournament W,
like 5 seconds ago, like literally,
literally the week before a tournament W, and then you beat Mars, who he's never beaten before. He was 0-7 with Mars before that.
Oh, that is good to know. I did not know.
A lot of game 5s, but 0-7,
Dude, he that's true. And he's always like it's the steady and I think he's the player we've seen probably the most consistently bump up the results since end of quarantine or like since offline came back, whatever you want to call it. But basically like getting I don't know when he came back like what 49th, 33rd maybe, stuff like that. And then he creeping all the way back to getting 9th at Lost Tech City last weekend and then first top 8. We always do. Wizzy, I think Wizzy I think he took his growing his stream, kind of chilling a little bit more, not taking the game as seriously. But man, I mean, he's definitely putting himself back on the map. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like a consistent up and up.
Definitely, I do definitely know what it was. He's got that dog in him.
Yeah,
Bark Yoshi. Oh, Bark Wizzy.
Yeah, when that dog comes out, the Bark Wizzy comes out. Oh,
the Yoshi, dude. Oh my god, dude, Chuck.
Also, I doubted the Yoshi.
The Yoshi was nice.
I didn't. I played.
I was definitely like, nah, this Yoshi's gonna get sauced, and then I was like, oh,
it did not. It did not get sauced.
It did not get sauced. Very respectful Yoshi.
Which is fair because it's a secondary, and like we said about Light, he plays against a lot of very good Yoshis pretty consistently when he goes to tri-state tournaments. There's just 1,000 of them, so I don't know. That was really because that's why Yoshi's I thought the Yoshi was gonna get sauced because Light has this experience against a lot of good Yoshis. Yeah. Man, I mean, Dark Wizzy's got to have like a really good squad strike. Lineup. I wonder who would ever be. It's really good. Yeah, I'd say he's really good. Like, it's really tough to get a dub on him in Squad Strike. Like, you have to be very talented to be able to do that.
Wait, didn't you beat him in Squad Strike?
Oh, actually, well, we don't need to talk about this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would never want to just talk about.
Yeah, I'm so glad you set me up for that on commentary. You're my go for that. And we can't not talk about SHADIC, by the way.
Oh my god, what a story!
I was gonna say, I keep saying this is the story of the tournament, Onin, Riddles, Gavin doing well and keeping his mental strong, but it's like, dude, is it SHADIC? They're all such
SHADIC's
amazing.
first top 8 at a major.
MuteAce also qualified, by the way, over Dark Wizzy for Panda Cup. I think that's worth bringing up since it wasn't. I think they recorded it. I don't think they streamed it. Maybe they did.
Yeah, either way, we've talked about MuteAce quite a bit on this podcast. Just fundies.
Team Fundies, yes.
Me and MuteAce we're Team Fundies right now in this top 8.
Founding members of the Team Fundies.
I appreciate you grouping me in with this. Thanks. That means a lot that you will go as far as to say that we are the same. Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of the gameplay. Mute making it just straight into winners top 8 is really impressive. Because kind of like Diddy, Peach could just run into a really stupid matchup at any point in a bracket. So, just a mid tier that just walls you out with a million projectiles or something like that. But yeah, SHADIC too, like y'all talking about with the story, and Corrin is also a really interesting character. The character got buffed. The character wasn't super popular. The character was popular in Smash 4. So there's a lot to talk about there. We've actually talked about Corrin quite a bit. We all
did have the Corrin phase, so we had to,
I think all of us think higher of Corrin than most people, right? Or at least me and Marcus, right?
I have to, yeah. I think there's pretty decent potential with the character for sure. Good enough, right? Good enough.
Okay. You know, I always come up with these weird things. Another thing that people have been asking recently, and they asked this before, but now it's more relevant. Okay.
Clear his throat, dang.
Sora up air or Corrin up air?
Sora.
I think it's Corrin.
Corrin's close though.
Larger, right? I think Corrin's is bigger. It looks bigger. That Keyblade ain't that long.
I've never been asked this question.
But they're both really good. Well, okay, add in Pyra up air. Because all three of those are the same, right?
Nah.
Pyra
up air is -4.
Yeah, but what's the startup though?
It doesn't have the same frame trap like those two, the other.
It almost.
It kind of does. It almost does, but it's slightly.
You know what? Sora. I'm gonna say Sora.
I said Sora too. Yeah, I think
if you include Pyra, I'll probably still say Sora.
Corrin starts on frame 7 and it's -5 on shield.
That move is.
This has to be a number 2.
How long? Do you know how long the move is? Because the length of the move plays a big deal. All I know is Sora's up air is hitting grounded opponents, and
that's what I'm saying.
Rising.
You already know that's what I'm thinking about.
Well, that one too.
It's rising, hitting grounded opponents.
It's a huge combo starter and a KO option as well. I saw Kameme do everything. It can do everything. I think that's Sora's best button, almost uncontested.
Damn, Sora's one is frame 10, kind of slow.
Okay,
-5 though. Okay, it is -5 though.
Sora does the same spacing and timing whether they're on the ground or above him on the platform.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Look where it starts too. We have it on the screen right now.
It is low. It is low. Sora does start very low.
It starts on his knee. It covers
he's jumping though.
That move is a suit and tie move. That is a suit and tie. Let's get down to business move.
I said it on commentary. I think I said it separately for both of them because I commentated SHADIC and Kameme. I was like, for both their up airs, I'm like, I think that's one of the best up airs in the game, period. Both of those.
Yes,
because it does
the fucking thing where they're on the ground and you hit them.
That's the fucking thing.
That is what you want, and that is not in this game as often as you would expect.
It's close though. It's close.
It's starting low is a very good argument. Yes. It's a very, very good argument.
Corrin sits behind her very far too, though.
Corrin's is a little
Corrin and Pyra's super lingers behind.
Would you say that they kill at around the same time every time?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
I think Corrin's probably stronger.
They're both kind of fucking stale because they mash it for sure.
That move is gigantic.
Yeah, but look, it doesn't start quite as low. Sorry for the audio only listeners, but it doesn't start quite as low as Sora's does either.
Sora will get out,
but it goes behind her a lot. They're kind of opposite, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but Sora still goes behind him.
Yeah. Sora's gonna get more up airs out in a juggle than Corrin, despite Corrin's being faster. I swear.
That's like.
Is that because he's floaty too, though?
Corrin has to pick a spot to use it and then frame trap you with the grounded move. Sora will short hop up air and then short hop up air again. It's different. This move is different.
Okay, so he can spam it. We get it.
Yeah, he's an OD spammer.
He's an OD spammer.
Yeah, man. Big House 10 was amazing. I also love, outside of the bracket, the venue had the championship banners, which I saw some people chat, that's weird that they have banners. I'm like, dude, it's it's supposed to be a college-based tournament based off of, whatever. It's a championship, or
yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was
added
really cool.
to the atmosphere for sure.
So now we'll see an aMSa one and a Riddles one next year, which is so fucking
so
high.
I didn't even think of
for it. Like, dude, it's like I love tournaments that add an additional thing. Like CEO, you get the championship belt. Like that's cool. Like you get a CEO belt, but yeah, Big House, you get a fucking banner. That's so sick. Like it was amazing.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh, go ahead.
They don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing. Like they're doing it because they want to, and it's really cool to like know that if you win a Big House, that they're gonna put like the effort into like keeping your legacy essentially, and that is super sick. Like
so important, man.
Like I got to see Zachary up there.
Yep,
true.
Yeah, that's dope.
And DeBuzz has one. Dude, and the other thing is like. That's what it's all about too. Is like, how do you stand out as a tournament? How are you different? Like we've always considered the Big House for the longest time, considered it like one of the main stage staple tournaments, right? In Smash, and they delivered that further this year and truly cemented themselves with like I think the double dub of aMSa and Riddles is like. Does it get better than the Big House? It was always in that like Evo bracket of Genesis, Evo, Big House. Like it was always in that conversation, obviously. But damn, and Detroit is a fun city. We got a lot of great food. Everything was walkable, obviously, and great. So near the venue, it's a good area. Like you guys should go if you. I would have been so fucking mad if I missed this year, to be honest with you. Also, shout out to my man Knuckles Up. He actually delivered. I had to give him a shout out, of course. He gave me a cigar box full of cigars and a bunch of other stuff in it. That sounded bad. It was just like cologne and like a bunch of. It was just like a really nice gift. So thank you, Knuckles Up, man, for that. I had to give him a shout out because I did end up having a cigar too this weekend.
That is very nice.
So it ruled. Yeah, that ruled. So cool.
Yeah, do y'all want to recap it with First Attack a little bit?
We should talk about First Attack quite a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Well, go ahead.
Oh,
not the Kid Boo.
Kid Boo. Kid Bizzle.
Void in the house, bro.
And what up, Void? Void for audio only. Void is holding up a picture of Kid Boo behind Charles' head. There you go. Now you know.
Oh,
now
nice. Has always thinking about the audio.
Dude, because I've been listening to podcasts for way too long. Like, I'm a podcast
You're very
guy.
nice to them, and
I know. I love the audio only listeners. You know. Well, dude, I use YouTube Premium, so I download podcasts on my YouTube. Like, I'm sure a lot of people do that for ours too. Like, they download it on YouTube and then just listen to it whenever. So, all right, top 8.
Sonic's won, right? I guess
Sonic's dub.
Yeah,
no losses. Lima second place, keeping it going here with the good results in the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
with
Bayo's on the rise.
2 losses only to Sonics. Kept getting third. Seeing a little Villager action here, like that.
And Isabel. Don't forget Isabel.
Getting 2 games off of Sonics in winners finals with not Villager but Isabel. Did try the Villager, so
that character is broken.
Oh, snap.
Isabel.
Oh,
come on, bro! I can't.
She broken.
True.
Moving on.
That was the least enthusiastic true of all time. False. Like it's just not true. Get out of here.
Just because she beats Diddy, or probably does somewhat well.
True.
Oh dang, he's frozen.
8-Bit Man oh, see ya, he left. I think he left.
Isabel's broken.
Joke.
I'm out of here.
I think he left as a joke, which is really bad because rejoining definitely he just screwed over our production guy big time. Come on, Gavin. I'll keep going through the results while he tries to figure out his life. 8-Bit Man getting 4th place. Really good run by. I always love seeing 8-Bit Man do well because I cast a lot of those online tournaments and he does really well there. And then like coming into an offline tournament and doing really well, I love to see it too. I love when that translates well. So stuff to 8-Bit Man. Cappy Tuxedo and E-King both getting 5th. And then my man Ling and Tama getting 7th. Tama, a Aegis player, if I remember correctly. So, Marcus, did you watch a lot of that tournament? I didn't watch a lot of it, obviously, because we are at Big House. So,
nah, bro, I didn't really have much time to watch much of anything this weekend. Like, I kind of watch Big House. I kind of watch First Attack. Like, I'll like tune in every couple sets. I think I watched Tweek versus Kameme. No, I'm sorry. Where did that even come from? I watched Tweek versus Light. I watched Tweek versus MuteAce. And I watched Riddles versus Onin. I think that's it. I didn't even watch Grands really. I was just super busy this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I think the tournaments overall this weekend were really fun to watch, right? So no matter what, it was also really fun commentating top 8 with Haz. First half of top 8, that was super dope. I think that was our first time doing a duo cast in top 8 together.
Definitely.
And, me and Haz have been casting with each other since Smash 4, I believe. Like Genesis 4, I think, was the first time we've commentated together.
Yeah,
or was it 5? No, it was 5. Genesis 5 was.
I have a terrible memory of shit like that, but I do remember it. And it's funny because we've been around for so long that like they all kind of bleed together just a little bit, right? Like you do so many different tournaments and stuff. But yeah, dude, obviously I was super when I saw the schedule and I saw it was me and you for the first half of top 8. I like couldn't have been happier. Like that was amazing. And we've always like, you know, since we entered commentary and even competing around the same time, it was like we've always and became friends. Like we've always kind of had each other's backs and been in each other's corners and stuff. And we had a real heart to heart. Which Frostbite was that at? The first Frostbite for
the very
Ultimate?
first one. Yeah, I remember that.
We didn't get hired, and both of us were just so fucking bummed and like in our feelings about it. And we like pumped each other up, and we're like, we're gonna do this. And then they needed more casters, and we hopped on the desk and like we commentated together. And like
we had a block together.
Yeah, we did.
That was a fire block.
We had so much fucking fun, dude. Yeah, and you and I always bring that up and talk about that Frostbite.
James
it was so
legendary.
Void. Yes, with the Talent City platform where James upbeat to it. Yeah, see, I'm good at stuff like that, but like which year Frostbite was it? I don't know, man. But either way, dude, yeah. Which is funny because that was also Detroit. So like Detroit's coming back again here. Wow, I didn't even connect that until now, but it's very poetic. In case you're wondering, Tweek's internet went out, so we're here awkwardly finishing the show. It's not Tweek Talks, it's Marcus Mumbles, Charles Chats, and Haz Heckles. So that's what we got right now. I love that one. Whoever came up with that, you're a genius. But I think we're going to end it here because Tweek's internet is out and he's the host of the show. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Episode 70. We're working on the Patreon episode this week, too. So make sure you subscribe before that drops. Make sure you check that out on our Patreon. Link will be below. And yeah, thanks, everyone. And we'll be seeing you.
Wait, before we go, you got to give him the line one more time. I know you've been practicing it.
Oh, dude, I actually haven't. Like, it's actually so far behind. Hold on. I actually got a new phone. Hold on. I do have it. All right, give me one second. One last time. One last time. Even though we spammed it. But what it really is you can't mod the skills that Bark Wizzy don't has. Because it, hopefully played Ned somehow. That shit was so funny because we had recently just seen that tweet again for no reason, and I was like, "Dang, Bark Wizzy goes in this weekend. This will be fun." And then I just like decided we were gonna spam that, and then he got like 5th. I was like, "Oh wow, thanks a lot, man. That ruled." Like we randomly decided just to meme that. Look at Marcus. So all right, yeah, we gotta get out of here. We need Gavin, and we're screwed. Peace.
See ya.